about to see the house tonight. My section every time is high, but the highest to be at right. And go to the cross section, alright.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Kearney Math Show. Thank you all for tuning in to the Kearney Math Show today. On today's episode, we are going to be featuring Unit 10, Mini Lesson 3, in which we are discussing the volume of prisms and pyramids. So before we get started, go ahead and write this as entry number 3 and read your learning goal. Okay, so by the end of today, I want you to be able to explain how to find the volume of both prisms and pyramids. So 2 things before we get started. 1, I know you guys have been finding the volume for years, okay? But up until this point, you've mostly been finding the volume of rectangular prisms. So we're going to look at, well, how do you find the volume of a trapezoidal prism or a triangular prism? And secondly is many of you had studied your Big Ideas pink sheet and you learned the formula for area of a pyramid, volume of a pyramid, but I don't think you really know why the formula is. So today we're going to hopefully make sense of both formulas because it's not just about memorizing the formulas, it's knowing why they are the way they are. So before we get started, let's talk about just what is volume. If I asked you how to find the volume of a 3D shape, what would you tell me you needed to find about that shape? That's right. Volume is the amount of cubic units that's cubic units inside a 3D figure. The amount of cubic units inside of a 3D figure, what it takes to fill it up. And that's why when we talk about volume, it's measured in cubic units. So where in the real world would you need to fill something up? Where would you need to find the inside capacity of something? Well, for me, one of my favorite things about the summer is when it's finally time to fill up the pool and get it ready for summer. So finding the volume. So filling the pool. A few years ago, I had to move, and so I had to get a trailer that I could pull behind or like rent a U-Haul or whatever that could hold all of my stuff. So I need to know the amount of the inside units of that storage space, so I needed to know the volume. So a storage unit. And I'm sure you guys can think of some others. So let's talk about your formula. So up until this point, you guys have probably been using the formula length times width times height to find the volume. And that is fine. That's perfect if you're looking at a rectangular prism. However, we're going to be looking at a little bit more complicated prisms. So I'm going to give you a formula that works for all of them. So your formula for volume of any prism is volume of a prism, B prism, is big B times H. Okay, and big B stands for the area of the base. So volume of a prism, big B times H. So big B, that stands for not just the base, but the area of the base. And H stands for the height of the prism. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what a prism is. What makes a prism different than a pyramid? So many of you, if I said the word pyramid, you would think of the great pyramids of Egypt. Okay, a prism's a little different. Okay, a prism's a 3D figure that has the same base that's being repeated throughout the entire figure. So that if I sliced it parallel to that base, if I were to cut that 3D figure open, I would have the same shape as the base. Okay, so prism is a 3D figure that has the base repeating. So what we're going to do is when we're finding the volume, we're going to find the area of that base and then figure out what the height is and multiply. Okay, so let me help you make sense of this a little bit. Okay, let's come down. I'm going to actually come down to this triangular prism down here. Okay, so what shape do you see as being repeated throughout this entire figure? So the base, what do you see? I see a triangle. And I know a lot of people think the base is the bottom. The base is not the bottom always. The base on a prism is the shape that's being repeated. Okay? So to find the area of that base, we're gonna do big B. So the base is this triangle that's being repeated. Okay, so how do you find the area of a triangle? We're gonna do base times height divided by 2. So my base is 3. My height of that triangle is 4. Divided by 2, so 3 times 4, which is 12. Divided by 2 is 6 inches squared. Okay, so I filled in that first layer. I found the big B. Okay, now my question to you is, how many layers of that front layer are you going to stack behind one another until you fill this figure up? You would stack 5 layers. So my height of my whole prism is 5. And I know many of you are saying, well, Miss Kearney, it looks like the height is 4. I want to know the height of the whole prism. So how long is that prism? How many triangles do I stack up? So 5. So now my first layer is 6. And I have 5 layers of 6. So to find the volume, we're going to do big B times H. So my big B we said was 6. And we said there were 5 layers. So if we multiply, that would mean the whole thing is 30 inches cubed. Okay? So just to recap, we did big B. We found the area of the base, that front, whatever layer was being repeated. And then we multiplied it by the height. Okay? So I'm going to go straight on. I'm going to let you guys, once you finish the video, you can come back and do those other practice problems that we're skipping. Let's go to the right side where we talk about a pyramid, okay? But before we get started, what did we say a prism was? We said a prism was a 3D figure that has a base that repeats. And we said the volume of any prism can be found by simply, volume of a prism can be found by finding the area of the base, big B, times the height. Okay, so we said big B was the area of the base. Height, or H was the height of the prism. So now, we're going to look at some shapes that are similar. We're going to look at pyramids. And like I said, a few weeks ago, you guys started looking at your big ideas, and many of you learned the formula. But maybe you didn't know why the formula was the way it is. You just memorized it. You didn't really question it. So today, you're actually going to get to see why the formula is the way it is. But I will say that I'm going to give you the formula right now. And when you come to my station today, you are going to be able to see actually where the formula comes from. So you're actually going to understand why the formula is the way it is. So right now I'm just going to give it to you. When you come to my station, we'll make sense of it. So my formula is volume of a pyramid. Big B times height. So same thing. We're still going to find the area of the base. We're still going to multiply times the height, but this time we're going to divide by 3. Okay, so any pyramid. So think about what makes a pyramid different. Okay, a pyramid, we have that one base, but instead of the base repeating, the sides come up and connect to a point. Okay, so we're going to find that bottom layer, that one base. Okay, so let's look at this bottom one here. Okay, so to find the area or to find the volume is big B times height divided by 3. And like I said, I'll explain why that is when you come to my station. So first thing, we're going to find the big B. So what base do you see? What's that first layer? See, it's a square. So we're going to do 8 by 8, which is 64 feet squared. How many layers? How high is my pyramid? 15. So now to find volume, I'm going to simply do the big B times the height, but then I'm going to divide by 3. So 64 times 15, divide by 3. And I get 320 feet cubed. Okay? Now notice that my base was squared, but my volume is cubed. Remember, volume is always cubed, area is squared. Okay? So when you come to my station, we'll talk about why in the world are we dividing by 3. Okay? So in the meantime, take the formulas that we learned about a prism, and why don't you go back to that left side and try some of those practice problems, and they're going to actually talk you through step by step on finding the area of the base, how many layers, and then finding the volume. And when you come to my station, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. All right, good luck, guys. Peace out, Rainbow Trout. Love you, mean it.